Boeing and NASA engineers have wrapped up ground tests on the Starliner thruster. But before we get into that, NASA scientists say pure sulfur has been found on Mars for the first time after the Curiosity rover inadvertently uncovered a cluster of yellow crystals when it drove over a rock. And it looks like the area is filled with it. It's an unexpected discovery. While minerals containing sulfur have been observed on the red planet, elemental sulfur on its own has never been seen there before. It forms in only a narrow range of conditions that scientists haven't associated with the history of this location, according to NASA. Curiosity cracked open the rock on May 30th while driving in a region known as the Geddes Vallis Channel, where similar rocks were seen all around. The channel is thought to have been carved by water and debris flows long ago. Finding a field of stones made of pure sulfur is like finding an oasis in the desert, said Ashwin Vasavada, Curiosity's project scientist. It shouldn't be there, so now we have to explain it. Discovering strange and unexpected things is what makes planetary exploration so exciting. After spotting the yellow crystals, the team later used a camera on Curiosity's robotic arm to take a closer look. The rover then took a sample from a different rock nearby, as the pieces of the rock it had smashed were too brittle for drilling. Curiosity is equipped with instruments that allow it to analyze the composition of rocks and soil, and NASA says its alpha particle X-ray spectrometer, APXS, confirmed it had found elemental sulfur. Engineers from Boeing and NASA have spent much of the last month running ground tests on a Starliner Reaction Control System, RCS, thruster to get a better idea of what went wrong during the active Starliner's flight in early June, and they finally wrapped up this past week. In its latest update, Boeing said the teams were able to replicate the thrust degradation Starliner experienced and are now reviewing all the data. But the date astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams return is still uncertain. NASA and Boeing said only that they'll be making the trip in the coming weeks. In the tests at the White Sands Test Facility in New Mexico, the teams simulated the conditions from Starliner's recent flight, putting the control system thruster through one of the most stressing launch-to-docking firing sequences with over 1,000 pulses to simulate CFT, crew flight test conditions, according to Boeing. They also tested undocking and deorbit burn scenarios, which Starliner will experience on its way home. After collecting terabytes of data from those tests, the teams ran additional, more aggressive tests to see if we could more closely simulate the higher thermal conditions the thrusters experienced in flight, said Dan Niedermeyer, Boeing's engineer for the thruster testing. The engineers are in the process of doing engine teardowns and inspections, NASA's Commercial Crew Program Manager Steve Stitch said on Thursday. Following their analyses, NASA says there will be an agency flight test readiness review to determine whether Starliner is in good shape to bring the astronauts back. NASA and Boeing said they will release more information in a conference in the coming days. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Today's show featured journalism by Engadget contributors Cheyenne McDonald and Mariella Moon and was produced by Spoken Layer. I'm Imran Sheikh, and as always, we'll talk more tomorrow.
Spoken Layer.